That's by calling all news people. Astrology in the news, March 5th, 2018. My name is Kevin Keegan, and of course, as always, thank you for joining me as we take a look at the news and how it's reflected in astrology, or the other way around, be it as you may. So, yogic wisdom of the day is brought to us by the great yogi and guru, Param Guru of Paramahansa Yogananda. If you're not familiar with what a Param Guru is, it's a guru's guru. It's like a grand guru, like a grandparent. Solve all your problems through meditation. Lahiri Mahasaya was basically invented Kriya Yoga. I mean, he was the first person to actually codify it. But hey, anyway, go the fuck away. Go the fuck away. It's still there. It was worth trying, right? So, Shaquem Griffin impresses at the combine. So here we have somebody that is a one-handed individual playing football, man. This is great that somebody could even make it this far in their career. And, good for him. I really hope he makes it. Yay! And, I was going to make some jokes, but I'm not going to do that. So anyway, here's taking a look at his chart. Don't know what time he was born, but we do have some couple of great placements here. Venus and Mercury are almost exactly conjunct in the sign of Gemini. So this guy is a brilliant individual. He may have some communications issues, and he probably doesn't really communicate well with the ladies. But you know what's weird? This is the third from the moon, and this is actually represents the hands and shoulders. And if you take a look at this, he basically has one impediment, and that could be shown by Venus. However, is lifted up by Mercury being in a good position. And then if you look too, Mercury is deposited by Mars here. So we can kind of see how this goes together. And so Mars being in the sixth house can indicate some health problems. I think this was a natal birth defect, but this is in an Upachaya house, and its Lord is placed in a good position. So this gets better with time. This is a lot of powerful energy for this man. So as he goes on, he's just only going to get a lot better in his career. So I really have high hopes for him. Looking at his Navamsa chart, this actually goes in the sign of Taurus. So if this doesn't work out for him long term, he could actually go into like real estate or something with business or something even with art too if sports doesn't work out. So this guy has a lot of options with a lot of these great placements. Oh, wait, I was going to make a joke. Well, yeah. Anyway, Silvio Berlusconi suffers setbacks in Italian election, and if you didn't follow the election, basically the populists are turning out in Europe, and this is not a good sign for the ruling parties. It's also not a good sign for the EU, and also not a good sign for him because it's not because they ran out of wine, right? Probably likes to drink because he's all Italian. He likes the spicy meatball. Anyway, let's take a look at Berlusconi's chart. We actually have a birth time for him, and if you look, he's in his Sun Dasha, which just started, and that's in his first house. Mercury's also exalted in his first house, so this really isn't a bad placement for somebody. I don't know if retrograde Mercury exalted has any impact in the chart when it comes to stuff like, making an exalted planet debilitated if it's retrograde. I've not heard anything about that. Venus in the second house in the sign of Libra, great for wealth. Berlusconi, I believe, Berlusconi is a billionaire actually. So this guy's got plenty of money. Fixed stars, Betelgeuse. That's a very interesting one. That's actually in the shoulder of Orion too, and so Beetlejuice can make somebody extremely successful, but sometimes it's often by violent means. So I don't know. This guy has got a little bit of a Mussolini vibe going to him with that placement. Let's see, what else does he have? Moon and Saturn, let's see, conjunct in the sign of Aquarius. Not bad for people. However, a retrograde Saturn in Aquarius can make him a little bit socially awkward. So I haven't seen him speak, but I think deep down, like part of like when he was a kid, he probably had to overcome this social awkwardness. Also, too, this is in the sixth house, so it means he's rich because he's insecure about his money. So he saves, and you see Mars here in the 12th house. That could also indicate loss, possibly through the mail. Maybe I don't know if he lost his father at an early age. Anyway, interesting chart. So now this is what I really wanted to talk about today, and this is why you see the thumbnail. Bibi wants to invite Trump to the embassy opening on May 14th. And you know what? Trump should not go because where the hell are you going to get a ham sandwich in Jerusalem? There's probably no ham in the whole city. Maybe pastrami? Maybe. Take a look at this chart. This is not a good chart for Donald Trump. So this is basically Israel on May 14th. And if you want to take a look, the prominent aspect here is Mars is here in the, this is actually Trump's Mars, but what I'm looking for is this Mars right here. This actually represents where Mars is going to be in the sign of Capricorn. And what's fascinating about this, or what's specifically dangerous, is this is going to be in a bad position related to his midheaven, actually, for the star Algol. So this is what's been really kind of worrying me about this is when, because Trump has Algol and has his midheaven conjunct there, it can show the possibility of assassination. And I actually knew a psychic who had a dream that Trump would face some trouble in Israel if he went there. And the timing of this is really, this is a bad aspect. I mean, you would think this trine is a good aspect, but when it goes to the star Algol, it could, it could have something to do with one of his policies too. So I don't like it. So Donald Trump, if you're seeing this, do not go to Israel. It's not a good idea, okay? Especially on May 14th. If you want to go anytime after this year, that's good, because what's happening is one of the major aspects, if you see down here with Mars and the south node of the moon, is Mars is going to make its way very close to the south node of the moon, and then Mars is actually going to go retrograde on June 29th. And when it goes retrograde, it's going to be conjunct the south node of the moon. Now, the nodes of the moon are always moving retrograde, and when one planet conjuncts it, it stays conjunct as it goes retrograde, which gives it extra violent power. Mars is exalted in Capricorn. K2 can represent violence, and when these two get together, it especially represents terrorism. So this is going to be a rough summer because of this conjunction. So if you have planets in the sign of Capricorn, be very wary of travel, especially between in the summer. Okay, so June, actually July, let's see, July, August, and then September. And then once we get into October, things will get better. So that's just something that we need to keep in mind. So, all right, if you want to book a consultation, go to nobsyoga.com and click on book a consultation. And of course, if you have anything that you want me to cover in the show, go ahead and shoot me an email at nobsyoga@gmail.com. Otherwise, everybody, thank you for joining me today, and I always appreciate your participation.